Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonald.
And I am Russ Thomas. I have to tell you, sometimes I notice it more than others, but I was telling Augusta, when I can see myself here, which I can, there's a lot of light shining. My head is really shiny some days.
It's rather shiny. You know, we could get you some powder for that.
You
can borrow mine.
You can actually see the whole lighting in our studio and how it's set up just by my head. So we don't have to point the camera.
Please look behind the scenes.
That's right. That's right. I do want to talk about the event we have coming up. And before we go, we do have a graphic. Before we get there, though, I do want to let you know that I'm hearing a lot of things, people saying, because we've been talking about the snow, and especially Friday afternoon through Saturday, we're going to see a big snowstorm. What I'm hearing is people asking, are we going to see 30 or more inches? They're hearing that. No, we're not going to see that much.
In our dreams, but not on
the mountains are going to see,
floor.
right, the mountains are going to see feet of snow, so the answer is yes. In the valleys, it's going to be a big storm. In fact, a storm that over a 24-hour period, sometimes we don't see in several years. However, it is going to be manageable, and we'll get through it. Let's talk about the numbers for you and show you what we've got coming up here. And again, this is a winter storm warning issued by the National Weather Service. It's 11 a.m. tomorrow morning for the Missoula-Bitterroot Valley through 5 p.m. Saturday. So that's a 30-hour window. In that time frame, the expectation is the average in the valley is about a foot of snow. Some areas a little less, some areas more. Certainly there's potential, depending on how fast the snow flies, that we could see up to 20. Again, I think that's probably the max. I think most areas less than that. It's still a whole lot of snow. Flathead Mission Valley starts at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning through 5 p.m. Saturday, 12 to maybe 19 inches. And again, locally a little bit more. So yes, this is going to be a big snow maker. Again, something that we oftentimes don't see over a several-year period. But as far as 2 to 3 feet in the valleys, more than likely that is not going to be the case. We'll have more coming up.
Thank you, Russ. Top stories this morning. Americans hoping to save money on their next tax bill are trying to hurry up and hand over money before the new year. Confusion, though, over the just signed tax bill has many wondering whether all the effort during the holiday season may end up being a waste of time. John Schwemo is in New York to help explain.
Throughout the nation, long lines have been forming at tax collection offices. The reason for those lines?
Wanting to prepay my real estate taxes.
Oh, sure.
Americans who own an expensive home or live near a big city like Atlanta or Dallas, or in a high-tax state like California, Massachusetts, or New York, are scrambling to see if it makes sense to prepay their 2018 property taxes. The reason being, the tax overhaul signed last week by President Trump puts a new $10,000 limit on the amount of state and local taxes people can deduct from their federal tax bill. Even accountants, though, aren't always sure whether prepaying in 2017 will prevent the bigger hit in 2018.
There is no one answer.
The IRS posted an advisory on its website that basically boils it all down to this one, still somewhat complicated sentence: a prepayment of anticipated real property taxes that have not been assessed prior to 2018 are not deductible in 2017.
With the bill being passed in December, you only gave the average person approximately 2, maybe 3 weeks to make an informed decision.
Here in New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo went as far as issuing an emergency order a few days ago allowing for prepayment of some property taxes. That may not help everyone, though, as some towns and counties have announced they're simply not equipped to calculate the payments in time. John Schwemo, CBS News, New York.
Critics of the Republican-led tax overhaul insist the cap disproportionately affects higher tax blue states, states that for the most part did not support President Trump in the 2016 election. Back in Montana, regulators say they've taken action to require utility companies to pass the benefits they receive from the federal tax reform onto their customers. The Public Service Commission ordered regulated utilities to determine how much they will save because of the new tax bill, then create a proposal for how they will apply those savings. That could include direct refunds for ratepayers or paying for large projects that would otherwise require rate increases. The new requirements will apply initially to Northwestern Energy's electric and gas services and to Montana Dakota Utilities electric service. Commissioners say they are one of the first regulatory bodies in the country to take this step.
We really are kind of at the tip of the spear, if you will, in terms of this approach of proactively going to the utilities saying, hey, there's going to be a chunk of money here that you guys are going to have to do something with. We're going to insist you do it in a way that benefits the ratepayers.
The federal tax bill makes several large changes, including reducing the corporate tax rate from 35% to 21%. PSC staff say it will take several months to determine the full effect on Montana's utilities. And destructive natural disasters and powerful men facing sexual misconduct allegations were just some of the biggest national news stories of 2017. Kenneth Craig has a look back at some of the major events of 2017.
2017 was the costliest hurricane season on record. In late August, Hurricane Harvey made landfall twice, bringing record flooding to parts of Texas and Louisiana. Then Hurricane Irma slammed into Florida, causing widespread destruction and power outages.
I ask for America's prayers.
Hurricane Maria ravaged Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The three storms caused more than $200 billion in damages in the U.S. alone. Out west, wildfires killed at least 40 people and wiped out entire communities in Northern California, including several wineries. In December, wildfires burned Southern California's hillsides, destroying hundreds of homes and buildings.
We have an active shooter.
The deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history happened October 1st in Las Vegas. Stephen Paddock opened fire on a music festival from a suite at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. 58 people were killed before Paddock took his own life. 26 adults and children were killed inside the First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas. Police believe Devin Kelly was targeting his in-laws. Suspected serial killer Howell Donaldson was arrested in Tampa, Florida. Donaldson was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder, ending a weeks-long manhunt. In Charlottesville, Virginia, a group of white nationalists clashed with counter-demonstrators during a rally. Witnesses say 20-year-old James Field Jr., a suspected white nationalist, drove his car into a crowd, killing Heather Heyer. That violence in Virginia sparked calls to remove all Confederate monuments. Some of the 1,500 Confederate statues across the country were taken down, while others were covered up. Allegations of sexual misconduct caused major figures in entertainment to lose their jobs. Film producer Harvey Weinstein stepped down from his production company, and studios parted ways with actors Kevin Spacey and comedian Louis C.K. TV anchors Bill O'Reilly, Charlie Rose, and Matt Lauer also lost their jobs. A Pennsylvania judge declared a mistrial in the sexual assault case against comedian Bill Cosby. His accuser, Andrea Constand, testified that Cosby gave her pills and assaulted her. Dozens of NFL players were chastised for taking a knee during the national anthem. The players wanted to bring attention to racial injustice in the African American community.
Thank you.
O.J. Simpson was released from prison after serving 9 years for armed robbery. And darkness descended in the middle of the day in August, and all eyes look towards the sky for the total eclipse of the sun. It won't happen here again until 2024. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
Yes, it certainly was an exciting year. Meteorologist Russ Thomas joins us now with what we can expect for some snow. Russ.
Thank you. Mike Daniels is where we're going to start because he sent this great photo in Missoula yesterday morning sunrise. That is very, very pretty. Love that shot. Mike, thank you so much for sharing that photo with us. That was very rare that we saw the sun out at any point yesterday. It was more than anything a lot of light snow out there. 20 in Missoula right now, 18 in Kalispell, much colder east of the divide. We're seeing quite a few below zero readings, and certainly where we're not seeing that, still chilly, as well as 3 above in Billings and 10 in Helena right now. Satellite radar image. We have snow more so coming down in the mountains right now than the valleys, although the valleys are starting to fill. And I think for the valleys, again, today it's going to be light snow. So we're talking about the heavier stuff. That's for tomorrow and Saturday, although the mountains will continue to get hit with a lot of snow. For skiers out there, you're just saying, come on, keep coming, keep coming. And the storm is going to be there through Saturday. So we're talking about, in some cases, 2 to 3 feet of snow in the mountains. Even a few spots a little bit more than that. Winter storm warning. This is our look right here. Again, Missoula, this starts in the Missoula-Bitterroot Valley at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, goes through 5 p.m. on Saturday. Also includes the Potomac-Sealy region and the Butte-Blackfoot region. About 8 to 16 has got that range, that expectation. We could go a little higher. There's going to be a period, especially late Friday through early Saturday, where that snow is going to come down, and it's going to be a heavy, wet snow, really fast and hard. If that extends a little bit longer than expected, we could see 16, 20 inches of snow in some spots. Flathead, Mission Valley, 12 to 19. And again, that same scenario. We could see even more than that. The expectation is we're going to fall in that range, but we could go a little bit higher. Forecast headlines, again, heavy wet snow. Friday, Saturday, not so much today in the valleys, but again, the mountains will get hit. Extremely difficult travel expect. That's another big thing here. We're talking about not just the highways, not just the mountains, but the valleys as well. Really hard to get around, I think, from late Friday through much of Saturday. You see the intensity of the snow as we move into your Friday in particular. 30 in Missoula today, 23 Kalispell. Light snow to moderate snow for most spots, and tomorrow that snow becomes moderate to heavy, especially later on Friday afternoon all the way through Saturday. Snow in Missoula Thursday, Friday, Saturday, wrapping up New Year's Eve. Should be a good looking New Year's Day. In Hamilton, we look at snow Thursday. Rain snow mix Friday could complicate issues a little bit. Then snow on Saturday with highs of around 33.
All righty, thank you, Russ. Well, if you're looking to get outside this weekend, sounds like you need to head to the hills to catch some of that better snow.
Yeah, to do the skiing and the snowboarding, all that fun stuff, that's a place to go.
All right, thanks, Russ. We'll be back right after this.